How involved in the details should a leader be? This is such a hard concept that I've had to overcome, and so many other people have to overcome, because they feel like guilty. If you're a leader of a company, business owner, CEO, or manager, you wonder, like, okay, well, I understand, like, if I get involved in the details, I'm going to build respect with my team, because I'm going to be boots on the ground right next to them, hammering out the details. They're going to respect my talent, my skill. But where's the limit, right? Where is the limit where it's like, you got to say, no, I can't do this because I'm responsible for this. Where is that balancing beam? And I want to start with a story that I learned from the book Extreme Ownership that was really powerful to me about Jocko Willink in his leadership of the battle in Ramadi, Iraq, which is at the peak of the insurgency of, pretty much terrorist activity in Iraq. These terrible, terrible people trying to overtake, or pretty much had overtaken, the town of Ramadi, Iraq. And Jocko Willink is in this very sticky predicament where he gets a call over the walkie-talkie that they spotted enemy activity on a rooftop across the street from them. So he has his ground forces in a building in Ramadi, Iraq, his United States ground forces, right? They have some friendly Iraqi soldiers there as well in the building. And they look out the window and they see 4 Iraqi people with snipers on top of a building across the street. Okay? And Jocko isn't boots on the ground in that building. He's in a other area. He's at the military base in Ramadi, Iraq, right? And he is, I think he's at what's called Cop Falcon. I forget the name, but he's at one of the military bases, right? In Ramadi, Iraq. He's not in the building. Okay, so he gets this walkie-talkie call. Hey, Jocko, we noticed 4 potential enemy snipers on the roof of building 94. I forget what the number was, but 94, let's say. We're in building 75. Do we have permission to shoot? So then Jocko says, affirmative, great, I'm going to check with the scope. Now, this isn't exactly how it goes in the story, but it makes it simpler. I'm going to check with the scope. And the scope is a person who, has surveillance basically on top of buildings around the town of Ramadi, Iraq, that can confirm or deny certain things that the military forces spot, right? So Jocko gets on his walkie-talkie and says, hey, scope, we got reported that there's enemy activity on the rooftop building 94. Can you please confirm that you can see with your scope, with your scope, whether there are 4 bodies on building 94 that look like enemy fighters, enemy snipers? And the guy goes, okay, let me check. He zooms in. He uses his software in another location to zoom in and to see, yep, confirmed. Confirmed, Jocko. There's 4 enemy fighters on rooftop 94, confirmed. They all had this similar type of map that they were using to refer to the town. And Jocko gets that information. Now, any leader in his position with double confirmation, right, from the ground forces and the scope would have went, hey, ground forces, I got confirmation from the scope. There's 4 bodies on the roof. Please fire. You have permission to fire, meaning shoot them, kill them. Because if they were enemy snipers, that could have been bad news for them. So Jocko stops for a second and he says, you know what? I'm going to triple check. I'm going to triple check with the team. So he says, back to the ground forces, to the guy who's in charge of the ground forces in that building on the streets of Ramadi, Iraq. He goes, I want you to look out the window. I want you to count the number of buildings from building 94 to the middle of the main intersection. And the guy looks out the window over the walkie-talkie. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings. 4 buildings, Jocko. And Jocko looks at his map and looks back and looks back at the walkie-talkie and goes, "Oh crap." And he realizes that the map wasn't properly reflecting the streets, because if it was building 94, it would have been 6 buildings to the middle of the road, right? Not 4. So Jocko goes back and he looks, and they zoom in, and they actually realize that the 4 people on that roof that they were about to kill were one of the only group of 4 friendly Iraqi soldiers who were on the United States side, who knew the lay of the land, some of the only trained snipers that were Iraqis, and killing them would have costed so many American lives, because those 4 snipers ended up saving so many Americans' lives, because they knew all the interworkings of the streets. They knew what buildings to look into. They knew the lay of the land, and they were the only 4 Iraqis that were really trained in operating a sniper well. And had the United States not triple checked, had Jocko not triple checked there to make sure that they weren't friendly Iraqi soldiers versus the enemy snipers, they would have killed 4 of the most valuable assets in the Iraqi war that saved tons of people's lives. So the point of the story is this: Jocko was the leader in that circumstance. Okay? In that circumstance, if Jocko was in that building, okay, he wouldn't have had the elevation, the altitude to question those things 3 times. He would have been wrapped up in the heat of the moment with the ground forces. He would have heard from headquarters and the scope, "Oh, yep, confirmed, there's 4 bodies on the building. Yep, shoot, go ahead, go fire." He wouldn't have had the space to question the decisions of his team and to be the thinking apparatus for his team. And that would have costed hundreds of American lives. So within that story, there's realizations I want you to take away about leadership. And this is why it's important to know that it is vitally important that the leader does not focus on all of the details. And so that leader can have elevation, future vision, look around corners, know what's coming, okay? And be prepared for all catastrophic escape plans, or all escape plans, all pivots. You can't do that if you're, on call 24/7 to immediate sales calls. You can't do that if you're on call to client complaints. You can't do that if you're on call to whatever. There needs to be one person who's looking around corners and acting around corners. Otherwise, you would shoot those 4 people who were there to help you all along. So I'm not saying the leader's too good for the details. The leader needs to strategically always go back into the details, to have empathy for his team, and to find ways to improve the operating within those details. Don't get me wrong. But most of the time, the leader needs to step away from the details, zoom out, and question things as much as possible to make sure the right decisions are being made while not in the heat of the moment. So I hope you found this video valuable. If you want more information like this, watch this video. If you click on that, I'll see you in the next video. Otherwise, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more leadership tips, even marketing tips. My company, SMB Team, is a marketing company. We do digital marketing, Google Ads, website development, SEO. So if you're interested in a marketing consultation, go to smbteam.com. I'd love to help you out. Otherwise, like I said, subscribe, like this video so we know that we're doing the right thing with this video. It's the only way we know whether to make more videos like this. And also, leave a comment below on a topic you want me to go deeper into revolving around this topic of leadership. And I'd love to make a video about any details you want me to go deeper into. So thanks so much for your time, energy, and attention. Stay great.